When it comes to business analysts, it's definitely not a one size fits all. Our client, a manager at a financial company, was looking for a business analyst to join her team. But with business analysts and a role so all encompassing, each one serves a different audience, amongst other things, it's really important to get the right fit. So we'd like to go what we say beyond the job description to really look at the nuances of what your client really needs. So with that in mind, Jody, could you tell us a little bit about the project and some of the challenges that you faced?
Right. As you said, a business analyst role covers so many areas. And in this case, the client needed a person to deal a lot with stakeholder management. And the stakeholders were the business. And she said she needed someone who could peel away everything to understand the true business reason, and also someone who drills in on the why. So those things are not in the job requirement, as you can imagine.
Right.
That only comes through when we're talking. She said she wanted someone who's a big picture thinker and process oriented. And we just called it finding the X factor. So when you're recruiting, how do you find that X factor? Not obviously just looking at the resumes.
Right, that elusive X factor, absolutely. What I just think, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think is important too, is that the manager is willing to really, dig in deep with you so you can figure out what she really needs, as opposed to just putting forth a requirement and then hoping you can figure out by throwing a variety of resumes against it.
And we do appreciate when a manager does have a very thoughtful job requirement, but after doing this so many years, I found that it never really gives the true essence of what they're looking for.
Right.
So discussing the project and asking questions, that really helps us find the right person.
Right. So putting a little more time on the front end for them could pay off in the finality.
Right. And as we work together over time, less front end time can be spent.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So anything else you want to add about some of the challenges? Or I know there was the X Factor situation. Anything else that you thought was unique or nuanced about this particular role?
Well, it's not unique, but I guess since this encompasses many different types of people, a lot of resumes could fit this. So, right, without screening them very well, the candidates very well, a person really could end up with too many resumes. And before the hiring manager came to us, she was receiving a lot of resumes, and she has to accomplish her project. So
right, exactly. She's like hiring someone to find someone, so she doesn't have to sit through a stack of resumes. You could just have a few that are already pre-vetted, vetted and taken care of. So based on that, how did you do the screening process? What did Clearmont do to find the X factor and all the things that she was looking for? What was your process?
Well, with the client, we brainstormed questions that we could ask people to try to get to the heart of the matter, because someone could say they're a critical thinker on the resume, but what does that really mean? So asking to draw out the candidate's stories was very key. And that's also important for candidates to note, have your success stories ready, because
right,
that
actually
really showcase you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was just going to say, it reminded me of a video that we actually had where Jim O'Hagan from O'Hagan Coaching talked about crafting your stories and how important it is. So it's just something that, sprung up when you were talking about that. So yeah, please go ahead.
Another important thing that we've done is getting an understanding of the culture, that the person is going to enjoy working the way the client likes to work. And that's something important for both sides, right? So that's why I'm also testing, maybe not the best word, with the candidates, how the client works and getting their reaction to it. So that's also really important for how we screened.
So after the vetting process and you went through the resumes, what were the results?
Well, she did, interview 3 or 4 candidates from us, and she decided to proceed with one of the candidates who really hit the ground running. Within a month, he created a new reporting system for her, which was amazing because that would have fell onto her plate. And I think she was also a little surprised how he was able to just like pick the ball up and run with it and keep her apprised, but like didn't need handholding, which is really important for a consultant, right?
That's right.
Right, you have to make an immediate impact with the client. He also really was a good match with the team. He fit right in, and it was sort of a seamless transition. And because, right, we matched the culture on both sides, he really felt good about it too. And another great thing was, aside from this person that she hired an additional 2 other business analysts from us.
So it sounds like she was happy overall, especially because she hired 2 additional business analysts. You really got to the heart of what she needed.
Right.
And in fact, I usually like to end with something that the manager, commented and said about it. So I'm going to read it. She wrote, "The candidates for Clearmont were consistently well vetted and a strong fit for our team. Even those we didn't move forward with were within the 90th percentile of ideal matches, which saved us an enormous amount of time."
I love saving my clients time. I know how busy they are. We love helping them move their projects forward and taking things off their plate. So yeah, it was really a great experience.